Z's. These guys are now banking full time, and none of them are using their branches, right? A lot of the Gen Xers and boomers are the only ones that are really going in and using these branches. So what they're starting to look into is the possibility of creating virtual branches for consumers to use, so that they can tie into their mobile banking capabilities. And so we've had the privilege in speaking with their highest levels of strategy group within their C-suite, and the largest basically hedge fund manager that they have through Merrill. The guy handles, I think, over $121 billion for them. And so anyhow, all that being said, we have these kind of initiatives that are currently in play, conversations that are currently ongoing. In addition to that, we have this initiative called America 250, wherein, if you are familiar with President Trump's executive order back in January, where he wants to celebrate America's 250th anniversary, we have had the privilege to effectively be chosen as the group or the company that creates the virtual version of this celebration. We're able to get this type of, I'd say, access, because on our board we have Senator Rick Santorum. If you're familiar with that name, he used to run, he ran for presidency back in the day, but he was also the author of Blue Collar Conservatives, wherein Trump effectively used that as his blueprint for the MAGA movement today. So Rick is on our board. I'm a good friend with Willie Robertson with Duck Commander. So we're exploring the possibility of creating virtual environments for them. We've also had the opportunity to potentially create this Masters experience for the Masters for the 2026 or 2027 tournament.
Did you hear that, Jordan?
I did.
And then more importantly, this is part of the conversation that I've had with Presley. We have this internal initiative called Wellness HQ. The Wellness HQ component is, think about, the holistic movement that's really grown over the last, I'd say, 2 to 3 years, right? It's been amplified by the MAHA movement, with JFK coming on, RFK coming on as our Secretary of Health. And so what we've done, and this initiative was kind of brought on, I'd say about 10 months ago, wherein we would like to build a virtual environment for holistic wellness practitioners and vendors. And it'll be a one-stop shop. So think of, Whole Foods or Shopify that simply just has, wellness and holistic products for people to buy and consume, right? So we believe that this is going to be really big in the upcoming months and years, considering that there is a rather large MAHA movement, especially within the conservative groups across the nation. And then I briefly spoke about SecureCall, which is another brand in itself that we 100% own. But again, it's a product that is, being considered right now for usage by the FBI as well as the Department of Homeland Security. The last thing that I wanted to highlight right here is our incoming JV, joint venture with Discern Science. Discern Science has a market-leading technology. It's proprietary in nature, wherein they basically are able to reduce, think of a polygraph machine, lie detector test, right? It takes about 2 hours to conduct it. And so what they've been able to do is decrease that to about 8 minutes, rather than 2 hours, 8 minutes of consumption. And using AI, they have a software and a hardware component, using AI data analytics, and with a 95% accuracy. Okay, so we are getting ready to do a joint venture with them because we plan on creating or providing the virtual environment for them to integrate their proprietary AI technology to help decrease or prevent suicide rates amongst K through 12 across the nation. And so we're having conversations with school districts at the moment. In addition to that, we're amplifying these efforts with ongoing conversations with the executive branch of our current federal government, pertinent, particularly the president's office, pertinent to getting us involved with the Department of Education to help kind of proliferate this initiative, right? But as you guys know, nothing moves quickly in the federal government space, just never, ever. So this is just I'd say demo of the AI capability that we have, that we've created again for Bank of America.
Hello and welcome to Bank of America. How can I assist you today with your banking or financial needs?
Hi, I'm looking to open a checking account, please.
Great choice. Our checking accounts come with various benefits like digital banking, mobile check deposit, and customized alerts. Would you like to hear about our different checking account options?
I'm looking for a personal account, please.
For personal accounts, our Advantage banking options include Advantage Safe Balance, Advantage Plus, and Advantage Relationship.
So it'll walk through effectively what the product offerings are for Bank of America. It's also multilingual in nature.
America offers auto loans with
Sorry, I speak Spanish better than English. Would you be able to respond in Spanish, please?
Por supuesto. Bank of America ofrece préstamos para autos con tasas competitivas y plazos flexibles.
So it's able to switch at a moment's notice, speak any language in the world, and effectively serve as a 24/7 concierge for any entity that then adopts this AI agent, right? So I'm going to move forward this. So to give perspective on kind of the market size that we're currently playing in, at the moment, immersive worlds are huge. They're kindly known as games, but they're slowly, I shouldn't say slowly, they're quickly, rapidly moving towards more immersive utility use case, right? So you've got Roblox, you've got about 214 million monthly active users. You've got Fortnite, who's got 250 million monthly active users. And in the Sandbox, based on NFT activities, they have about 2 million monthly active users. So collectively, that's close to about, 200, 400, right? 450, 460 million monthly active users in virtual environments across the globe. What's neat about this is if you look at the Sandbox vertical, the multiplying factor from a valuation perspective are insane, right? These companies are trading at a high multiple. For Sandbox in particular, it's 35 to 40x on their ARR, with a $6 billion valuation on 150 million annualized revenue. And the reason why they're trading so high, even if you take the 10 to 12x, but for Sandbox, it's because it's a Web3 type of utility. Now, for us, what makes it incredibly appealing is not only is it Web3, but we have actual industry staple use cases. And what I mean by that, it's not simply a game wherein users will come and go. What we're doing is we're building a robust amount of, I'd say, revenue foundation where these are staple industries that we're going to be serving. For example, Ryan Franza connected us with Marsh McLennan, and Marsh, as of yesterday, we received full approval from their innovation council. We presented yesterday morning, and by yesterday afternoon, we received an email that they're approving us to move forward with their contracting process. And what that means is they're wanting to use our AI solution for their clients and for their internal network. And so this is going to proliferate to 1,300 different businesses across their client portfolio. But more importantly, some of those within those 1,300 clients, they have enterprise leaders that are going to be using this. The use case that they have on the AI side that you guys just saw for Bank of America is employee management, employee benefits management. And what it is they're going to inject our AI capabilities into their current software ecosystem for clients to effectively use for, let's say I'm an employee of, I don't know, Chick-fil-A, right? One of their clients is Chick-fil-A. I want to check my benefits. So I go into my benefits portal, and then our AI agent will show up and basically say, hey, Chad, welcome to blah, 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 blah. Chick-fil-A, employee portal, how can I help you today? And instead of me scrolling through pages and pages and pages stuff, I can simply ask this AI agent to tell me, hey, what does my 401k contribution look like? Or, I'm looking to file a sick leave because my mom's sick and I need to take care of her. Like, instead of me searching through pages of information, this AI agent will be able to actually do it for me, right? So that's one use case of what we're running after, but again, staple industries. So that being said, the valuation from a multiple perspective we're going towards is going to be significantly more robust than these respective firms that you're seeing in front of us now. These are just pilot metrics, different brands, and then this is the team. I founded the company, brought on the CEO with Rob Brinkman, incredible guy. His background's in Wall Street, sold a $1 billion plus business, and kind of just wanted to enjoy life for a bit, and now he's ready to kind of take on another role as CEO of VHQ. Our CTO has extensive experience in software development at scale, both from even Google and Apple, rolling out Apple Maps, and Siri and Google Maps altogether. CMO used to work directly for Dan Bongino before he went to the FBI. And then, the advisory board perspective, we have Senator Santorum, Mark Meckler, who is the co-founder of the Tea Party, as well as the previous interim CEO of Parler. They brought him on when they took Parler down. Adam Rice, CFO of a publicly traded private credit firm out of Dallas. He's also a good friend of mine. Dr. Basine, he's CEO of Unitech Learning. They're the second largest private nursing education organization across the United States. He's on our advisory board. And lastly, you guys know Ryan Franza. He's senior vice president at MMA, but also a growth leader there. So anyhow, that is effectively what our organization is. And what I pitch to Presley is simple. We have right now the opportunity to move again, to be the first mover within this virtual environment market pertinent to the wellness aspect as well as the education piece. Last time I came over, Reagan and Presley shared with me kind of their educational initiatives that they have ongoing. And I believe that, with the school districts, as well as now the federal government, particularly the Department of Education, looking into, students actually consuming a part of their curriculum using virtual immersive environments like what we're building, this is where, education is going to go within the next very easily 2 to 3 years. I say that because, again, the conversations that are ongoing now is moving towards this direction. And it's not like, hey, let's wait 5 years. It's how can we get this type of technology in the classrooms today? And so the opportunity that I presented to Presley is this: why don't you consider using your expertise in network marketing to first help push this, education vertical into the mass public, using his expertise there. Think of, was it Alex Hormozy's stuff, School, right? But it's a immersive environment. think of the type of communities that are going to be able to interact within those ecosystems. The robustness of interaction is significantly more rather than just chatting and typing. You're actually going to be able to, and I'll show you guys a demo, to have live interaction with people. And then on the wellness side, think of Herbalife, but virtualized, right? Herbalife has a significant network marketing framework, but at this point, they don't have the digital footprint like we believe we'll be able to have. We can even potentially, work alongside Herbalife if they want to, right? White label this for them. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is that, Presley provides a significant yet pivotal opportunity / expertise for us to be a first mover in this space. So anyhow, that's my pitch to Presley.
Show them your shop real quick. How the virtual shop for you.
Yeah.
I want y'all to see this. I think this is pretty amazing too.
So I'm going to share my screen here. Wait a minute. Hold on one second. Oh, wait, are you talking about the mall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me pull up the.
People can walk in and shop, and
Yeah.
I think that's pretty amazing.
Right here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, Dad, I got to jump off at 9:30.
All right. Well, we'll send you the info where you can look at it at your leisure, Jordan. No problem. All right. Talk to you later, bro.
All right. So as I mentioned earlier, Wellness HQ is this holistic movement. It has an indoor outdoor plaza. These are the different respective shops we envision, it looking. Think of being a wellness producer or service provider. You'll have your products within these respective shops. People walk in and out using their respective avatars and purchase items from you. Amazon virtualized, right? Herbalife virtualized, whatever have you. The amount of community that can be built within these respective shops would be really neat. In addition to that, kind of the overall even space, outdoor space, and what that looks like. You've got the commerce piece, which I talked about, shops, treasure hunts, selfie terrace, the park, which is the outdoor space, the community space. You've got fountains, parks, cafe area where people can sit, order whatever, Starbucks or whatever, where it's connected to a particular store and, they can pick up their mobile order. Communication piece, you could actually walk into a co-working space within the space, which I can pull up as well, provide a demo there, and effectively, have a working environment while you're a part of a community space, which is incredible. You also have a library, farmers market, conduct live presentations about a particular service or product that's new that you're wanting to push out. All of these different initiatives can be done within the respectable space. The way it's going to work from a business model perspective, we'll rent out the shops on a month-over-month basis. Think of a monthly subscription of sorts, whether it's $7, $10, $15 a month, just depending on the size of the store. I'm just throwing out numbers there, right? Different, again, farmers markets, culture. Building a culture is so important, right, in today's environment. Having community spaces, boardrooms, lecture halls, library spaces. Again, the professional center I mentioned about. This is what we envision kind of the community space will look like. Just wonderful outdoor spaces for people to interact and enjoy. And then that's it, right? So again, we have the vision, we have the capabilities, as well as the technology. We simply need someone who is expert in what they do, like Presley, who's well respected within their respective market, you know, a point of proliferation for something like this, you know, you either try to push from an organic perspective, which is often the case, or you utilize, you know, a workforce like a network marketing framework where you're effectively, you know, allowing the engine, you build the engine initially and then allowing the engine to grow it, right? I believe for something like this, especially from a holistic standpoint and education standpoint, it makes more sense rather than just keeping all the, you know, the workforce, the sales force in-house and then building it that way. But anyhow, yeah.
Chad, real quick. So how does this look like? How does this partnership or this integration look like? How are people interacting with our product? Because are you saying that we should build kind of like that conference room and is it an open world concept where people see and join? Like how is this integrated and how does it look and how do people come across what we're doing?
Yeah, great question. So basically the way I envision this is, yes, it is an open world concept. In terms of the partnership component, Pressly will effectively be, you know, integrated within Virtual HQ, wherein you guys build the brand that you guys want from an education standpoint under Virtual HQ's umbrella, right?
Oh, so if I use Spatial, and when I go into Spatial, I have different interactive concepts and worlds that I can go into. Is that the same thing for Virtual HQ? People that are in Virtual HQ, they can do this, they'll see the education branch and they'll be able to go interact inside that, I guess, quote unquote world, or how are people coming across us?
Great question. Yes. So how that's going to work, Reagan, is first we're going to drive the education. Think of basically starting a virtual immersive version of Alex Hormozi's platform.
Okay.
That's how it's going to work, except Pressly sits on top of everything.
Gotcha. Right? Okay.
Like he's Alex Hormozi, you know, for the virtual immersive environments.
Yeah. Very cool.
And then we build from there, right? Let's say you start off with your guys' stuff. You guys are rebranding, right? So what is it going to be called now, moving forward?
We don't know yet.
Okay, but it's something like Ascend or something like that.
What was your idea, Reagan?
Listen, I said one word. We may not go with it, but let's just for this sake say Strive. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Okay. So think of it being called Strive, whatever it is, right? By Virtual HQ, whatever, right? And then you guys build off of that, and then think of having your own kind of education studios for other educators, all within virtual environment, right? And so how that's going to work? Yeah, how that's going to work is we could essentially just duplicate, you know, this build that we have, right? And just say, you know, so-and-so, another version of Pressly, right? Who's wanting to educate people, build a community. You know, we put their logo on there instead of Virtual HQ, it's whatever brand they have. And then it's a month-over-month subscription.
So how are they, I'm so sorry, how are they going to be able, so is this just an open world concept where people can connect and network, but as far as our like actual school community where people can post threads, are you saying they're transitioning out of that and they're just going to chat with each other virtually? And how will they access, you know, resources and content that we have? That's still going to be within our school community.
Yes.
This is just for maybe like networking and some of the interactions and some of the calls that we're hosting and things like that.
Yes. So love the question. How I envision it working out is effectively because of the different API integration capabilities that are available now. What we can do is we could also host your educational content within this virtual environment. So think about it. There's an open world concept, right? Think of this as this is the internal piece. This is your guys's kind of education environment, right? But outdoors, it's a kind of free for all. People can just walk around, talk about people. Now, if they want to consume your product, they'll have to subscribe to your guys' school, right? To Strive. to, let's say, just to get into this hall, this atrium, they'll have to, pay for a subscription. But outdoors, people can, talk, have a community piece, blah, 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 blah. Right. But the entire outdoor community, the entire space altogether, immersive space altogether, is hosted by you guys. Presley sits on top of it. Right. Great question. I believe there's some about, and Reagan can speak into it as well. She's got a lot of experience in it. But from my experience, being in a immersive environment like this allows more freedom to interact with people rather than kind of a limited interaction via a Google Meet or a call. Meaning, we have a certain time frame that you and I would have this discussion. In this case, it's an hour, right, or 30 minutes. For something like this, people could just log in and out and interact with people as they please. There's not going to be a specific, timeline or limiter in this case, with regards to them being able to interact with their community. So that's one. The second is their ability to consume the product with their peers right off the bat, whenever they want. Right, accessibility is king. Reagan, last time we met, yeah. Think of what's that platform that Sims. Think of Sims, right? Sims, people log in and out. Most of the people spend all day on there, but with zero utility. We're effectively bringing utility to Sims, wherein, look, you log in, not only do you meet with your community and friends, but you're able to consume products that you enjoy or you like, you learn about things, and it's all right here, one space. And no one in the market at the moment that I know, in the broad market, not even Roblox, not even all these spaces, they have sponsorship opportunities, right, where brands are actually pushing their products within these respective platforms. But no one has taken it to the point where, hey, this is where you could just be. You could connect right here. That is correct. And, that's right. Yes, that's precisely right. And your ability to host different, mind, what's that? What's the thing that you're doing? Mindset coaching, but no, mastermind stuff.
Mastermind, yeah.
Yeah. So think about this, Birj. we've created this auditorium, to be able to host literally 1,000 people in this space. Where you could have a virtual mastermind event. People don't have to fly into spaces, but it mimics real. Now, will it ever replace real life interaction? Absolutely not, but it mimics it, and it's pretty dang close compared to Zoom or Google Meet, right? Yep. Yes. So the answer to that question is yes. On the admin side of things, you have kind of the speaker mode or the admin mode, which enables you to take Q&A questions whenever necessary. So I'm sitting in one of these chairs, Presley's speaking. He's done with his presentation. We're now going towards Q&A. I raise my hand. Presley then is able to call on me while I'm sitting there. And then there are controls here where, I could free roam on and off. You see me, I turned off free roam. That means I'm seated in my seat. You have the ability to, see who's on here. It's like, let's say all 4, 5, 6, whatever, 100 of us. I'll be able to see who's here, be able to provide admin access to whomever. The answer is yes. We have polling capabilities. Like we can integrate all of that stuff. The answer is depends on where and how you want to integrate AI, use AI. So in my opinion, in the use case that you just provided, it would have to be something like me going back to the lobby and this non-player character, we call it NPC, this NPC right in front of me would be that respective AI agent. Yep, wherein I simply can come up, talk to them, just like I showed you guys with Bank of America, which I have live. I can show you guys in what that looks like. I'll ask questions, but it's effectively that.
And she can speak multiple languages.
Yeah, 24/7, 365. And in terms of the responses there, yes, we have to provide the data that it needs, right? Based on your guys' school or whatever product you guys want to push out there. And then that's how it's going to, respond to the respective consumer.
Come on, Reagan. I can tell you got a question. I can see it in your face.
I don't have a question right now.
You
I'm
lied
happy
to you lied to me though, Reagan. You said you were going to turn your camera on, but that's all right.
It's frustrating you to lose food.
Hey, Reagan, might want to mute. There. That's that. So the answer is yes and no. And when I say that, yes, if we wanted to create another non-player character that resonates Reagan, wherein it's basically an AI, and then when she's there live, you know, that NPC is disabled, right? And or it's just in a designated space wherein, you know, ask Reagan these questions, kind of like an office space, right? 24/7, she's here and it's just NPC. Not yes. And I'll show you what that looks like briefly. I just closed the platform because I was going to show you the AI component, but I'm going to show you real quick how easy it is to come up with that, right? Once it loads. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again. Okay, so here I am. I'm a member of your guy of Strive, right? I'm paying my monthly subscription, and we're doing the whole Saturday accountability thing. I'm the admin, and let's say I want to create, you know, a room for 25 people. Let's just say, right, for example. All I need to do is effectively create the space. Now I'm in the space. I have the capability to do screen sharing, just like I would now, like I am now, right? So I'm going to share my screen here. And then here we are, right? So I've got it here and I've got it on the screen up there. People have any questions whatsoever, you know, avatar will raise their hands. I have the capability to also do, I'm going to stop my screen share real quick. You know, to engage in video conferencing capabilities, you know, any given point of time so people can show their faces, not just avatars. Yeah, you know, the whole gamut. And then how easy is it to effectively share this if they're already within the world, just like you would in current platforms. You know, I could click this and it'll be copied on my clipboard and I can paste it here. And share it, you know, via email, right? You click that link, it takes you directly to this meeting room. So in terms of intuitiveness, there's going to be a small learning curve, right? Depending on the capability or the device that they're using. So for mobile, you know, they're going to have to be able to use their hands, their fingers rather, you know, finger to be able to move their, you know, avatar around. For desktop, you've got your directional keys that you can use to move around, but we can also change it to where we have the capability of changing to point and click, just like you would in Google Maps. You know, you're pointing and clicking and then your avatar will go towards that direction. So it's a small learning curve. Is it going to be, you know, difficult for the 50s and 60s? Yes. But for
Be careful, man.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
But it's the truth, right? You know, 50s, 60s, they're just not gonna like that. But if you're looking at the 20s, 30s, and 40s, you know, these people are gonna be more keen to using this type of environment. And Reagan, you know, please, you know, feel free to inject as you see fit, since you are into the gaming community as well.
I was gonna ask, how are they interacting and walking around? Are they using the keyboard?
So yeah, as I mentioned, you could use the keyboard, whether it's directional keys or WASD, right?
Okay, the WASD.
Yeah, or or, we can change it to where it's point and click, just using the mouse. Either way, I think, for the older demographics, point and click's much easier. For the younger demographics, for me, it's natural to use WASD, right?
Yeah, for me, I use WASD, but I'll say the older generation, they're not gonna maybe not do that.
Nope. Yeah. So it's just, we can configure it however we need to configure it.
Can you add a gaming controller?
No, not that I'm, well, if it's connected to your device, the short answer would be, I'm assuming yes.
This, and it was another piece.
Perfect.
So you had your hair.
And then I'm gonna stop sharing this and I'm gonna switch over to a live demo of the AI so that bears can see it. So let me share the screen right here.
Are you there, Bears? You might have went to the restroom.
Okay, we'll wait.
So your computer broke, Reagan?
Yeah, the other day actually it shut down while I was editing content, and then I took it to a shop, and then I tried to get it fixed, and then this morning it just completely shut off. So I have it in my car. I think I'm just gonna trade it in because it's kind of, this is my Mac, not my iPad. I'm gonna try to trade it in and just get a newer version because this is twice now that it completely just crashes when I edit content.
All right, Bears is back. Whenever
Okay.
you're free. He's gonna show this for you, Bears.
All right.
Hello, welcome to Marsh McLennan Agency. What brings you in today? Are you looking for insurance solutions, industry insights, or maybe career opportunities?
Hey, yeah, thanks. I have a 1,500 employee organization, and I'm looking to switch out my benefits management, both healthcare benefits as well as workforce and retirement. Are you able to help me out with that? And then more importantly, can you elaborate on the solutions that you guys have available?
Absolutely, we can help with that. Marsh McLennan Agency delivers business insurance, employee health and benefits, retirement, and private client insurance solutions across North America. We also have solutions that guide employees to lower-cost healthcare options and improve engagement. Let's explore what fits your organization best. We've got some great solutions like Mercer 365, a digital portal for health and lifestyle benefits, plus strategic advice to optimize your benefit structure. We can definitely tailor these options to fit your 1,500 employee organization. Let's dive deeper into what specific features you need.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Do you have any sort of AI solutions available?
Yes, we do. We offer Health First AI for healthcare benefits, helping employees find cost-effective care and promoting wellness, and Workforce AI to enhance communication, onboarding, and engagement.
Okay, so the Health First AI, Workforce AI doesn't exist. It's the initiative that we're bringing to the table. So they asked us to inject, they literally gave us a document. They were like, input this within, a couple minutes. Our engine, or our AI agent rather, ingested the information, and then now it's included within their kind of ecosystem. I share that with you because it's going to be the same thing in terms of application for Strive, or for this particular educational opportunity.
Well, I can't do awkward silence for that long, guys. So I'm gonna break it. I was trying to think of some more questions, but I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's good to know. And I'm sorry if it's loud. I was on my way to the Mac store again, so I just stopped at a coffee shop nearby. But I think it's important, you know, there may be people that don't like this. There may be people that like it. I don't know if we'll try to have like different options for our community, you know, for the ones that want the traditional and then those that are really excited about that. I do think this is this is like something that's buzzing right now that can get a lot of traction for us to reach other people, but this is kind of the future. This isn't like the now or the yesterday. Like this is definitely the future. Nobody else is really doing it from what I've seen. And the open world concept, especially I will say in my generation, is huge. People are figuring out how they can interact virtually in everything that they do. So I think that's why Chad will refer to me sometimes bears, just because I game in a lot of these different, I mean, he mentioned Fortnite and Roblox, and I game in both of those. So I understand like how the virtual world works, how people interact. I was telling him this is kind of embarrassing, but they hosted a Star Wars party inside of one of the games, and they had a virtual theater, and I watched Star Wars in it. And afterwards, I was asking myself, like, what is wrong with me? I could have watched Star Wars on my TV in the living room, but it was because they had a bunch of random people were in there chatting. You could get a lightsaber and start. I don't know. It was so interactive during it. It was just fun. But I think there is a wave of people, whether you agree or disagree. I disagree and agree. Like it scares me, but also excites me. I think this will attract certain people, especially maybe Jordan's generation, my generation, but I don't want to say we need to bring in younger generation, but I do think education for the younger generation, they will dive into this. I think they'll love this. So that's something we have to ask ourselves too. This may attract the younger generation. This may attract, not our current audience. So are we open to working with some of those younger kids, I would say.
The answer is unequivocally yes, absolutely. I'm used to awkward silences, unlike Reagan. In the boardroom, we're doing this. We sit, and think. And this is
Tell them who said, if it's not private information, who said they wanted to take it to the next step with you.
Oh, with me.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it?
Oh, you sent me that text yesterday.
Oh, yes. It was Marsh McLennan, right? They obviously they're a Fortune 500 firm, 180 on the list, $108 billion market cap. They want to take this to the likes of Target, who are their clients, right? Whole Foods, at least the AI component of it. They just, again, as of yesterday morning, I was in California, 8:30 Pacific time. I presented to their Innovation Council for 15 minutes. They gave me a 15-minute slot. By that afternoon, I was on the plane en route to Dallas, and they approved our, ability to provide the software for them. Yes. And understand, and from a contextual perspective, I was very deliberate in putting my team together. If you go back to the advisory board level, we're all like-minded, but more importantly, we share the love of of Christ in the midst of all of it. Because to me, my background's private equity. I've been there, done that, wore that shirt at points, wrecked it. But something like this, where it could effectively transform generational not only interaction, but how people consume their not just products, but day-to-day interaction. It's got to be meaningful and it's got to have some sort of impact. And that's why I provide this kind of opportunity, laid out this opportunity to Presley, because I share, even though I've known him a short amount of time, I feel like I've known him for a while because we have that like-mindedness and share the same morals and values. And I just, we've all been there. We've all worked with people that didn't share that. And it just made it so much more difficult. And I think this is the reason why it's made this initiative, this project, this company, this startup, so much more efficient, because every conversation we're having is like this. And more importantly, we don't have to question anyone's, ethics and values. We're on the same page. You can absolutely do that. Absolutely. I am thinking, because from an interaction perspective, that's actually brilliant. That's how you bring kind of the open world concept into life, like injecting, lack of a better term, steroids, right? Yeah. So think of school. Okay, I just like it because it's what you guys use, so you're familiar with it, but gamified and virtualized. Reagan, from your perspective, is that something that consumers would consume and be attracted to?
I think consumers would love it. Do I think that our current audience would get in there and maybe relearn how to do things? I don't know. I think, in my opinion, there needs to be a traditional place for maybe our current audience, and then yeah.
Come back.
Because so the way I see it, right, we can compartmentalize it per market, right? So you've got from a demographical perspective, you've got your current demographics that are currently on school. But in the next, 3 to 5 years, you've got the younger generation, younger demographics are wanting to start consuming this. There are no players and again, this is me speaking out loud, right? There are currently no players that I see like Presley who are engaging in this type of potential initiative, right? So I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a call. And so if we target something like this for the younger demographics, Reagan, let me make the question more poignant. Would people consume this from a younger demographics perspective?
100%, 100%.
Okay. And based on the market research we did, the 250 plus million, Fortnite users, the 200 plus million Roblox users, would they be interested? Would a fraction of that demographics use this?
Yeah, I think that there's a demographic of people that like the open world concept. They'd rather learn that way. They'd rather shop that way. I mean, half the people that are using the open world concept, they're doing it because they like that. They like the virtual feeling. They like the aura they create for themselves outside of reality. That's just the truth. And whether it's not very, where we all said we're Christians, so it's hard to, want to push that, but we're not really pushing that. We're creating a new world for them to do something that they need to do virtually, which is something that they really love doing already. But we're just bringing a different opportunity for them because they're going to be doing the shopping. They're already doing the interacting and making friends and everything that they can do virtually. They're already doing it. So bringing the education platform in there, I mean, being one of the first ones, absolutely.
Yeah, and then we can amplify it by different, I'd say events, just like you had mentioned, Star Wars or whatever, but like hosting different sort of events that would, make the community at large more excited about something, right?
Yeah, I think the fact that people are going to church in Roblox, like kids are going to church inside these, and I don't want to attract
Roblox
kids,
not
but what I'm saying, yeah, it's they're looking for that for sure. I think you can bring the education, and there's a lot of kids that don't like interacting with people in person. They've not had the best experience in that. So
Yeah.
and I don't think it'd just be kids. I mean, if this was accessible for me and the stuff that I'm learning and engaging in, I'd probably be likely to do that experience just because it's what I prefer.
Right. So I'm trying to fully digest that. So what you're saying is, how much is it going to provide real life utility at the end of the day?
We're still on our Zoom.
Call after.
Yeah, good question. I think based on experience and based on, current, past and current ongoing conversations with firms, there's something about being able to consume something here only because of, I think Reagan laid it out perfectly. She watched the daggum Star Wars movie just because she was around other people rather than just by herself. So going back to your point, think of like even starting your own kind of reading club, in the space where I'm reading my virtual book, digital audio book, or whatever. but I'm sitting here next to you guys. Like I'm working, it's almost like a co-working space on that, in that particular use case, right? But it's working perfectly. Like if we were to be in this virtual environment now, like the one I showed you, I'd sit in one of those kiosks and conduct my work while you guys are doing your own thing. But I'm in the same space as you. And if I want to get up, had a question for Reagan or you or Presley or Jordan, I'll just get up. It's like, hey, do you have a sec? Right? But we're not there physically, but we're able to interact just like we would in real life. Yeah. Yes. Everywhere.
Can we create rules? I don't know if this is possible, but maybe we can have more control of, to Bear's point, like, okay, the thing is this is going to happen regardless if any of us agree with it or not. It's like the future, and I think we all understand that. So how can we tap into this space, but also encourage people not to use this as like some sort of, what kids get into the gaming, my fiance literally became an addict at video games. Like it's like something you can't even bring up because he said it just was something that filled a void inside of him because it really does create like a dopamine rush. Now that's because video games are psychologically with the colors and all of the different things, like they are meant to keep you engaged. How can we create an environment that also encourages them to be healthy? And we talked about that, Chad, is like having rules and having things that's like, hey, when I don't know if any of you guys ever had a Toyota, but back when I had a Toyota, if I would drive more than like 6 hours or whatever, the little coffee symbol would pop up. Did one of you guys mention this to me? I feel like someone mentioned this to me. It was you. That's why I'm saying it. And I had a Toyota too, and it used to do the same thing. It's like, take a break. Like, I think Chad's the one that mentioned that. If we can do that, like, hey, it's time to take a break, go for a walk, go do this. Like, how can we build things within the system that encourages them to still be healthy?
Yeah, the answer is absolutely, right? We can create parameters wherein, a user can't be on it for more than 6 hours at a time or 4 hours at a time or whatever have you, right? And effectively at the 4 hour mark, a pop-up shows up. Hey, we're logging you off, take a 30-minute break, go outside, whatever, right? You're only going to be able to access it again, after 30 minutes or 45. It doesn't matter, right? We'll be able to kind of put those kind of limiters slash parameters.
It's funny, I see everyone's wheels turning.
I think the important thing is we have to establish who we are, because that's where we're at right now with our brand. Because if this is like an education system, well, the conversations we've just been having is we're more of a community than a school at this point from the data that we've seen from our current audience. So I feel like before anything, we have to decide, is this going to be like an online, I mean, we'll still have resources, but is this going to be like an online, business like-minded community with just for networking? Or is this like, are we telling people this is a place to get educated virtually?
So great question. I think ultimately, what you currently have from using school should remain as is. What you're doing is you're effectively supplementing it with this. And the way I envision this kind of rolling out is very simple. Hey guys, we're taking our community interaction to the next level of immersion and ability to interact with one another live.
Yeah.
Drive Plus or something, right?
Yeah.
And then build off of that.
And I don't think there's a doubt, this will overtake our current model. May
I
take
think-
a little bit of time to catch on, but I think it will overtake our current model.
Yeah, I think we have our, obviously, big picture. We have our regular community for regular app. No, people need time to accept this type of technology. So we'll have our regular community, a virtual section that we start using, and we can like slowly, like we don't have to get everybody over there, but we can just do some small things with the virtual stuff. We can host Zooms in there and just kind of slowly start adding instead of overwhelming everybody. And then, we have many options, Strive or whatever we want to call ourselves. We have many options for people to interact and learn and engage with each other. But I do think, we all agree to this. Keeping the traditional the current structure that we have is super important too, because
Talk a lot about, but
it's
you'll see.
it's going to be hard for people to
I'm done.
relearn something or, huh? He wasn't. Can we get the avatars now?
I know, right?
So-
So I want to show one more thing, Bears, just to put your brain on overdrive above what's already in right now or on right now. So to give you perspective on what virtual stores can look like, you could either have an avatar. I'm going to show this to Presley and Reagan, or you could simply have an immersive experience kind of scrolling through the space. So this is and buying all their gear. Yes, all the swag. Yeah, and all of this stuff I end up buying, and yeah, there it is. So the back end, the answer is we can API it. Yes. But so it won't transcribe to a 3D asset right away. Our team will have to develop that 3D asset. But yeah, so it's just again, another level of interaction. It's 3D. Think of Amazon being like this, right? Again, the use case is endless, and yeah, we have the opportunity to be the first movers in it and leveraging Presley's expertise.
Reagan's got to run here pretty quick, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I gotta get, I'm late. I'm 17 minutes late to a call. So Chad,
Thanks.
I got your number. I
Yeah.
saw a lot of this, so I was glad Bears got to see it. But if we need to talk again or schedule something, we all have each other's contact information, but I think everybody's brains are spinning right now. So obviously it's a good thing, just with the overwhelming possibilities with this.
Yeah. Thanks, Reagan. We'll chat soon.
Chat soon. Thanks, guys.
Be safe.
Thank you. Bye.
Understandable. Yeah. Yeah. And just to provide, so what we're talking about now is just pure consumer play, right? It's a consumer facing product. What the conversations we're having now, at 2:30 Central. Where are you based out of? Are you here in Texas as well?
Phillies fan. He's an Eagles fan.
Eagles fan. Yeah.
Philly.
Oh,
He's a
Phillies.
Philly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, in Philadelphia.
No, no, Dallas is America's team. The Eagles have their few fans just
Yeah.
right around their stadium. That's it.
That's right. I was in California for the Dallas Giants game, and I was sitting in the Dallas Cowboys seating area at the bar, right? And that's in California. So you're right. You make a good point. It's true. It is true. It is true. So digressing back, we're meeting with a healthcare organization, CEO of it. They're a national healthcare organization, and the conversation is going to entail two things: AI integration that we have, but for EMR use cases, specifically attached to electronics medical records, and then the other side of that would be virtual clinics. And these again are staple industries, and the opportunity that I'm providing, Presley, is not just to basically help push these two verticals, education, wellness, wellness, whatever, health and wellness component, but also becoming a part of the entire pie, and being a part of the stakeholdership, right? So this is kind of where we're sitting, where we're not only at a crossroads, but I believe we're now at a point where industries are now ready for this type of consumption, this type of technology. I wrote an article, and I don't like tooting my own horn, but Forbes ended up publishing it worldwide because in it, on the article, it specifically notes the progression of our internet interaction, right? Where it started with Google search back in the early 2000s, in the mid 2000s. We then end up getting social media through MySpace, and then Facebook that proliferated through all the different markets globally, wherein businesses started to see, look, there are consumers here. We should also put our business. Now, not a single business in the world doesn't have a social media presence, right? Every single one does. So it's now been 15 years plus since we've had a iteration of how we interact on the internet. It's just been social media for a long time. People, I think Roblox was early enough, but there's really no utility. It's a game. Regular people like you and I, unlike Reagan, I'd say this, jokingly, weirdos like Reagan would just want to play and consume stuff there. For me, I don't want to spend a single second of my time in a virtual environment without a physical result or physical tie-in. Where this is where the utility aspect comes to play. Where real life, that's why these industries, as Fortune 500 companies, are like, hey, let's talk. We need to make this happen. That's right. Yeah, but conceptually, yes. Yes. Well, now I'm able to get on this and buy whatever I need for my house or whatever. Yep. Or have YouTube, DIY stuff. Now, part of the devil's advocate argument behind that is, why not just go to YouTube? Well, I don't have live interaction with my community, on YouTube. That's That's right. Okay. Yeah. And it's live, meaning it's, AI driven, but you're not having to scroll through pages of text. So, yeah. Yeah.
All right, well, download to your brain, brother. We can talk here, later. I don't want to keep Chad tied up all day, but,
Likewise. It's a pleasure.
Hello, Bears. How are you? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
All right, Bears. It's a pleasure. We'll chat. Yep. See you.